7, I guess we started. Welcome, everybody. We're still waiting on one, but I'm sure Jess will be along anytime soon. Thank you for the committee for showing up tonight. And first of all, I just want to say thank you to the entire community for everything that you guys have done since, yes, January, looking for these past 2 events. Turned out successful. Tons of good comments online. Thank you to the Parks Department for the parks all in top shape and all nice to see. So have with us tonight a delegation, dog agility training. Sorry, I don't know the thing, but anyway, it's Jess and Mitch. So they were thinking of having them for the Canada Day event. I want to skip into that first if you want to. Yeah. So the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. My name's Jess Van Schindel. This is my husband, Mitch. We were put by Mr. Vasey, and then I've been speaking with Alex. So I guess just a little bit of background about me. I've been involved in dog sports, dog training for over 12 years now. So I actually run a subcontractor for a local dog training business. I am involved in dog agility. I currently have 3 dogs that compete at a national level. So they've been all over Canada and the US to compete in dog agility. So I am excited to hopefully put on a really good show for your Canada Day. Kind of have a plan of doing about an hour-long show with a meet and greet for the dogs afterwards. I always think that it's, people always want to meet the working dogs. So that was kind of my plan there. We're gonna have about 8 to 10 dogs with us. Brad actually just took me to the fairgrounds there and we seen kind of mapped out where that would go. So I'm super excited for that. I do kind of have a plan, so I'm not really sure what kind of all information you want at the moment. But any questions, I'm open to that, or where we go from here.
Are you guys live local?
Yeah, we live just on Sarnia Street.
How did you get into this?
Many years ago, there was an ad on Facebook for dog agility classes, and I put my now 9-year-old Labrador in it. And he was 3-legged. He'll actually be a part of the show as well, just doing some tricks. He doesn't do agility anymore, but I just went from there. Then I got my first border collie, and my second border collie, and it just continued from there. Then started competing nationally. Last year I was the manager of Team Canada, and I traveled to Europe to compete with the team. So my aspirations are eventually to make the team. So yeah, really exciting. I'm very passionate about it. More of a hobby, I would say, but train dogs and I train the sport as well.
You do this like full time?
No, I am a nurse as well, so I do both. Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Expect in the show.
So kind of what my plan is that, so for those of you who maybe aren't so familiar with dog agility, it is an obstacle course. It is in a competition based on time. So the dogs, the obstacle course consists of jumps, tunnels, 3 different types of contact equipment, as well as 12 weave poles where the dogs have to weave in and out. So it is done independently. You cannot touch the dog or the obstacles. It's completely off leash. So in a competition, you run through and you have to navigate your dog through the course for the fastest time possible. It's actually really incredible to watch. The dogs are very fast. Typically a run is anywhere from 20 to 40 seconds, depending on the course. So have to watch quickly. So the idea that I was kind of having was that we would start with a quick introduction where I'd have somebody announcing, introducing the handlers as well as their dogs. They would all do kind of a little trick, a little warm up, just kind of introduce everybody to the game. Then one at a time, a dog would go out, run a sequence of obstacles. Once that dog is finished, another will go, and they'll have multiple at a time. Then halfway through, we'll have somebody behind the scenes doing a quick course change. And during that time, we can demo disc, because I'm also involved in that with one of my dogs, as well as I was thinking of asking a volunteer from the crowd to actually come out and hide a scent, because I do train my dogs in scent work as well. So I thought that was maybe opinions are appreciated again, but just having somebody come out, hide a scent in the obstacle course. We need a kid from the crowd. And then ask the dogs to go find it and alert to that scent. And then again, working through an agility course where the dogs come out one at a time, working through approximately 8 dogs. And then afterwards, following that, having a meet and greet on the side where people can actually come up and interact with the dogs.
So how many people like are on your like crew for all of this?
So like there's 8 dogs, it'll probably be approximately 4 handlers, 4 to 5 handlers, plus we'll just have a couple extra sets of hands just to help move equipment and whatnot, just because with the dog agility, it does require tunnels, which require sandbags. Yeah, the equipment, the contact equipment, and then the jumps as well.
The dog walk 30 feet long on its own.
Yes, so they would we would be responsible for all of that setup as well as tear down right after the event.
Like, what's the kind of setup? Like, do you section off like an area completely and then people are just outside of that watching?
So I guess like it wouldn't necessarily have to be sectioned off, but it is ideal that we prevent people from walking into the field, especially if the dogs are running. So even if that is just like some rope, caution tape, like, yeah, something, even if it's just on the one side of the soccer field, just so people aren't crossing that boundary and then potentially.
You guys
colliding
have
with
snow
dogs.
fence, lots of snow fence, that's something that'd be fine.
The caution tape might be better just because it might be easier to see through.
It is, yeah. But, yeah, as long as
Yeah.
you get excited, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and obviously there's a risk, safety risk for obviously the people and the dogs, and we obviously don't want people on the equipment. Again, because of the safety risk that takes, and also because the equipment is very expensive. So, we definitely don't want people kind of going on the equipment if possible.
Of course, yeah.
So do you guys like travel around and do sort of shows as well?
Yeah, so my dogs, I've actually flown them as far as Alberta and driven to Nova Scotia, and I go like we went to Ohio recently to compete, and this year we're actually going to Florida again
US
to
Open.
compete for nationals, for the US nationals. So yeah.
You have your own information that you can give out if anybody's asking.
Yes.
So bring some with you, so.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, yes, I can do that for sure.
Just because they'll be asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So I do offer like in-home pet obedience as well, which is kind of a new service that I'm starting to offer. So not only do I train like the sport aspect of it, but I do pet dog obedience. So basic behavioral training. As well, so.
And I'm gonna, out of caution for a second, do you have your own insurance?
Yes.
Are you thinking of one show or?
And that was kind of like up in the air, I guess, depending on time and what you guys are thinking. We are definitely willing to do it twice. Like maybe just doing like one in the afternoon and then a little meet and greet and then doing like a little bit of a break and then offering it again. Again, that's kind of the needs of what you guys were thinking there.
You know, 2 different courses.
You know, what time would we be having them?
The event runs
Parade
from 11 to
starts-
3.
Parade starts at 11, so.
How much is like a cost per show?
So we had kind of estimated like probably around $500 just given just how much time we have to load up all the equipment, go set it all up, need some extra hands to help with that, and then tear down as well.
Would you think that you could maybe slip 2 shows in that time frame or
Yes.
comfortable with?
If you want to, I can definitely do 2.
Is there anything that you would need from us other than what we've already discussed as far as the area secured?
Other than just the area secured, and then like I can willingly make signs even just to put on the tape just to stay out of the area. Again, that's just more for safety for not only the dogs and the handlers and the people, but other than that, no, I can provide again all of the equipment setup and takedown. Oh, I actually was wondering about like a microphone or one of those speaky. Yeah. The things, yeah.
Film and Clarence?
Use John's PA. He says,
Yeah, we
It
can
makes it
provide
more, an event, right? There's somebody to announce it, make it feel more.
Especially when it's a big area like that, it's nice to be able to get that.
Be much more professional sounding too.
Yes, for sure.
What is the name of your business?
Crowned canines,
With the pay.
with a C, both with C.
Yeah.
And is it just like sunny weather only, or if the weather is kind of, if it's like a light drizzle, could the dogs still, okay.
Yes. Yeah, we can still go ahead.
What about if it's?
I know.
hot? It's scorching hot, you're gonna have like a little tent or something the dogs would be under or what?
Yes, yeah. So I have actually my own shade screens and my own shade tents, just from competing outside all the time. I'm set up for that.
How long does your show traditionally run?
It'd probably be about an hour. Then the meet and greet after being for long people want to interact.
Well, normally there'd be an admission charge to this, like if you're at a nationals or something like that.
For a spectator, yes, and then we do pay to enter our dogs as well. And then in a competition, there is a chance to win money. So,
Well, people are getting a bargain if they get to see it for free.
yeah.
We could put a donation jar up for you guys. And you are available for the first, right?
Yes.
Hey, things change. Anybody else have any other questions that you need answered right now?
How long do you need to set up?
Probably only about an hour.
Like you don't need to be rushed, you just will be there early anyway, so just want to.
Yeah. Just to unload and set everything up. I would map out the course beforehand. With the handlers that would be joining me for this event, we'll actually set up the identical course at our training field and we would run it and practice it. So it runs very smoothly. Everybody is clear on what their jobs are doing. The dogs are familiar with what they're doing, so everybody can practice. So that would be, everybody would have their jobs, so definitely not more than an hour.
I could provide you like with a Google measure of the soccer field.
That would be awesome. Awesome.
Brad, are you looking to put them in the small soccer field?
Probably, yeah, it was the flattest. First, you'll have little cans there for your dog. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. There is, you had mentioned that there is access to water.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Water for them for sure.
Yeah. Since the main.
So you would have logos and all that we could get from you for.
Would be the series.
If a kind of a little blurb or something that we can put on for you, just so you know the right words to say. And pass on to Alex, he does the.
Yeah, I could,
Committee.
yeah, I can definitely get you something this week if that's okay. Just kind of like, what it is we're offering. Okay,
What people are gonna come see.
okay.
It's so exciting.
Yeah. It is really cool. We put many hours into training. So the dogs are very well taken care of and very, very important.
I'm kind of excited that you're from Wyoming too.
Yeah, that is
because I
great.
can't Imagine
had
the
no
amount of
idea.
people say.
Well, and it's kind of funny. Mr. Beasy actually reached out because of all the dog agility equipment in my backyard.
Okay.
From me training in the backyard at my house. Yeah, so that's kind of how it all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Not all the dogs, all the equipment. His sign wasn't parking, that made him notice.
Yeah.
That's the equipment.
Yeah.
So we would be there about 10 o'clock to set up if we're gonna have the parade starting at 11. And the parade at 11:30.
I think the parade is starting at 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Done by 11.
Yes, but we want,
So it'll be about quarter after by the time it gets to the fairgrounds.
yeah, but we'd probably want it set up by 11 so that all the trucks and everything are out of the way.
Yeah, yeah.
We traditionally like to get there when the birds do. So we probably will be there by 9,
At 9.
somewhere in
Okay.
there, but it's whatever works for you guys. We just always like to kind of have our coffee and no one coming.
Yeah, take a minute to prepare, right,
Yep.
for the day, for
Setup
sure,
is always the hardest part, so.
for sure, for
You
sure.
want to go early and set up and then you can kind of relax and relax it up. And we don't have to, do we have to be on like a down to the minute timeline? We'll just kind of wait and the parade comes in and everybody kind of starts to mingle and a little bit, kind of towards you.
Okay.
Because the touch a truck will be right inside there too.
I'm thinking probably the earliest show you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about noon.
Okay,
Should be rushed.
I don't want to hit them choosing what you.
No, that's right.
give them a second to mingle around and settle, get a drink. Have you?
Now, you guys will be somewhat close to the food truck, so the dogs won't be weighed.
Absolutely not. The dogs only care about their job.
Okay.
Heard that said before.
They're very much working dogs. Nothing really phases them, especially if there's agility equipment around.
What kind of dogs then? Like German Shepherds, I'm assuming?
I actually run border collies,
Oh.
so majority of the dogs that you will see at the show will be border collies. There was a German Shepherd that I wanted to come, however, he can't make it. There's a lab, a toy poodle, and then actually a German Shepherd Husky mix.
Okay.
So kind of a different variety there.
Are they all your dogs?
No, I have a couple border collies myself, and then a couple really good close friends of mine that I compete with are always bringing their border.
Are they local too?
Sarnia Forest. So localish.
Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Oh, I am too.
I'm looking- Sure. Any other questions that we want to ask of them before we let them go?
They're welcome aboard.
Thanks, thank you. I'm very excited. It's gonna be a fun show and I really hope you guys enjoy it. We're gonna.
We will.
It's unique, for sure. So yeah, definitely. I think we will look forward to it and we will promote it so that the community looks forward.
Yes, okay.
Well,
So you guys will confirm, whether you want 2 or 1. Think about that and kind of plan that out.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Alex, and you also have my contact information as well, so.
perfect. Well, Jess
Okay.
and Mitch, I appreciate you guys coming out. And,
Yeah.
so we look forward to it. If the committee on a subcommittee level has any questions, we'll reach out to you. But it just sounds cool. So
Okay.
I think we're looking forward to it and we'll be in touch.
Okay, awesome. Thanks very much, guys.
Okay.
Enjoy your evening.
Thank you, guys.
So before we go too far, I would like to welcome our newest member, Brenda Moulton. Have you explore all the fun things that we're going to do? Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been living in Wyoming for almost 30 years. I have 2 girls. I am running out of places to work in Wyoming. I worked at the credit union at one time. I worked at a coffee shop here in town. It used to be Deb's Cafe and Bakery where Helen's is now. Then I went to New Life Mills. I worked there for 20 years and now I'm at Wyoming Tree Service. Oh, and I like to run. That's my thing. I train for marathons and do it till I'm 70.
Yeah. What was the interest in joining the events committee?
I really enjoy planning events at Wyoming. Let me stuff,
Yeah.
and it's just a lot of fun, so. And do something fun.
Small grandchildren.
I have one grandbaby.
Yeah.
Oh, and in 8 months.
Okay.
Well, yeah, welcome, Brenda. Did we have her set up on our group chat?
Yes.
So I guess we shall go on. Picnics in the park. Wyoming, so it's, I guess, a brief summary. I just think everything was absolutely phenomenal. The weather was operative at least. There was no rain. There was rain the night before. Denny, yes.
Never the adoption of the minutes.
Oh, yeah. Did we even get those signed yet?
Yeah, no.
That's why they weren't in front of me. Okay. So there is a what's the word? That the minutes be adopted by the Special Events Committee. May 1st, 2023, moved by Mike Nagel, seconded by Brenda Moulton. Thank you. Any all in favor of the motion?
Questions on the motion?
Any questions of the motion? Errors or omissions in the previous minutes? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you, Denny, for keeping me on track. Picnic in the park, then, yeah, Wyoming was phenomenal. Crowd was great. I think the setup was good. There's a few little things maybe I'd like to see setup wise a little different next year. Tons of comments on the rides that were there, especially the rock wall. I myself, as Alex probably noticed on the Facebook page, there is a lot of interest from area people looking for who does that rock wall. So I think I sent a company down in Cambridge, probably 8 or 9 leads down here. It's not cheap, but I mean, it is a phenomenal unit. They were quite excited to come this way. They're typically going towards Hamilton, the Gordon Horseshoe in Toronto. So they were happy to turn left at Cambridge and have no traffic. That was their comment. So that's all I had to say about Wyoming. Other than we did really at the last minute try and have a classic car show. And we did have one fellow show up from Wallaceburg. But I guess in talking to him, I felt bad for him actually. In talking to him, there was quite a few other car shows in the area that day. But he was happy to come nonetheless, and we talked about his car and where he gets parts and all that good stuff. So if you want to just go around the table and anyone want to comment on what they thought?
I had a lot of people comment and ask at the Chemlacky one about the train. Where's the train?
Oh,
The
really?
train's not here. I said, we tried to get it, but couldn't. So we've got to make sure that get it for next year because it was,
It was a bigger hit than I thought.
I knew it. But I didn't get for a ride either. So, the way that we had the community group set up in Wyoming, I don't think nobody said it, but I don't think they were too awfully happy with it, only because everybody had an activity for the crowds to do, but it was a little bit crowded because they only had, the tents were back to back times 4, I think, down. They only had their front to give out information and to do. So there were some that, you know, people were kind of going in between the tents. So if we have 2 lines next time, we need a good 10 feet in between the 2 rows, which will take a little more room. So they were happy at the Chemlacky. It was a little too spread out for my liking. I would suggest for next year that we make hash marks in the grass like they do the craft sales I'm at. You just drive up and there's me, and you just set up. So you know exactly where, and everything is spaced and where you want it to be. That's the only thing that I have to bring to the table, really. Everybody had a good time. So it seemed to be kind of a different crowd at Chemlacky than Wyoming. To me, it did. There was a lot of young parents with strollers at Chemlacky, and Wyoming was much more of a mix, I think. But people came out, so it was happy.
One suggestion I got at Shenandoah was to have a car show.
Same guy that I had.
We tried and no one came, but we got his contact information for next time. He really did seem to like the bouncies. And like. And the swing was a big hit. I think.
It was a very big hit. Yeah.
The other thing is that we were competing against a carnival that was going on at Canadian Tire. Okay, and I think that probably the older kids went into that, even though they had to pay for it, they were going into that one.
And Pizza Fest was in Victoria.
Yeah.
Poutine feast, and there was a lot.
Going on in the summer.
It was a busy day in Lambton.
Yeah.
That's why our Wyoming one is even busier. We know it'll be busier than Kimlaki, but I think being that much earlier.
Yeah.
In May.
I agree.
However, that being said, the cars were parked up from the Bird Lanes up to Craig Marley and all over the place.
But,
Yeah.
I think we have to advertise on site parking.
They were full.
They were full.
They were full.
Both sides were full.
Right.
Overflow, like. Where we.
Yeah, in that field, like I didn't realize that was parking as well.
I don't know if it
Because
was.
originally,
I saw families getting out of that.
Al had said that he didn't want parking on the grass when we did our site visit.
Hmm.
But then I think Al or Adam, yeah, was it you or Adam that said no parking on the grass? Yeah, Adam, yeah. And then Adam was there parking, directing people at one point because they were parking by the volleyball court. So Adam was making sure they didn't go there. But the goal was not have them on the grass.
Oh, I see.
I just wonder if we would have placed our special events tent somewhere different. I felt like we were the last thing that they got to, and
I agree. We didn't stick out.
Yeah.
People didn't know to come to us.
Should have been maybe just inside.
Like where
the
Bubbles was
gate, I
almost,
think.
or- yeah.
I don't know when people go in, if they typically go right and they would hit like the fire trucks, the rides, and then kind of work their way. I don't know. I didn't watch the flow that much, but it felt like most people were kind of on their way out when they hit our tent.
Yeah.
To the playground.
The balloons.
Compared to last year, I know based on those families I did see, there's a lot more families that I recognized. Here's event compared to last year, there was a lot of price growth. And I think it's because, they were pulled into Sarnia for those events and Kim Lackey came out. People I recognize, which is good.
I think we probably could have used a second bouncy at both events.
Yeah, so that's the one feedback I heard leading up to Wyoming and at Wyoming was where. Is there more? So people love their bouncies apparently.
I think the rides were great, but I think we would have just had one more bouncy, even just to like,
I agree.
because I did have a couple parents that were not super happy about the bigger age range in one bouncy. Because the little kids were getting more trampled, there's not really anything you can do, but
Oh, we had the game. Do you think we need to bother with that game?
It never looked busy when I saw it.
It was right beside it and like I was at the bouncing for the majority of it at Wyoming. It barely got used.
what,
I don't think it's worth
I
it.
think the climbing one though
The
in,
climbing one, yeah, but the game, like the Connect Four basketball, like.
yeah, I think we could probably skip doing the game and just do.
I
Like
think we're better off getting
a
a
better,
bouncy.
like last year we did like a little kid bouncy and we did like a bigger kid bouncy with like, did it have a second floor?
An area where you could climb up and then slide down.
Yeah, because I think Lori could do it last year.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that was nice to have the two to kind of,
So we should have two smaller kids
I think
bouncies.
smaller kid bouncy and a bigger kid bouncy. Cause I think there's still like 7, 8-year-olds that like to go in bouncies, but they just don't mix well with 3, 4-year-olds.
I will say in Wyoming, we tend to have every age group. covered.
But I do feel like we did good on like with having Wacky Jacks that hit the younger age, the rock
Yeah.
wall and the rides were older as well. So people kept saying like it's for everybody.
Yeah.
So that was good.
Yes.
I really do think the Wacky Jack picnic tables need to be with all the picnic tables. I just felt like they weren't really all that utilized.
They were
And
used,
then there was a shortage with that.
they were used in Camp Wacky way more.
Yeah, yeah. Because they were closer.
Yeah,
But I still feel like shortage of seating, not, maybe not a shortage, but seating was always full. I feel like having those moved over might have helped. Food vendors were all very happy. Lions were like blown away with how busy they were. Okay, so Satara, got a hold of them at the Mlaki event and they just said they weren't coming. Don't know why, so I still need to touch base with them about the next two events.
I didn't hear any feedback though, that they're like the lineup at Trucking Mamas wasn't bad. I found, like, I stood in it, wasn't explosive.
I think 40 minutes.
I think like after you and I, but we were early.
We went at a good.
I heard it was, yeah, just over an hour.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I think Jill, were you the one that was going up and down the line at one point? I think that helped a lot. Was that you?
I wasn't going up and down the lineup, but I kind of talked to the people who were around me and I apologize for them having to wait. But we did have two more that just, it didn't, work out kind of thing. And you could almost see the understanding in their face at that point, like, oh, okay, kind of thing. So, and I'm sure it probably trickled down.
I heard a few people at the fire trucks who said it was a long lineup, but someone told us there was supposed to be more, so.
Yeah.
It did a lot of.
Yeah, so I thought they should know that we didn't overlook, that kind of thing, so. Is Satara down for Canada Day?
I need to touch base with them, and I think Waterball.
Are we sending a survey out then? We talked about that on the group chat, we're doing like a.
Yeah, or should we wait till after Canada Day?
Okay.
I was gonna bring that up too, but I didn't know.
Do we want to take a deposit in advance for
The
Tara,
tower.
for food trucks, just 'cause
We were doing that. They had to-
Now, Satara, because I don't know, like, they may have been more concerned about the no power aspect.
That's what I said, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
wondered, because I said there is no power at Kamlaki, and I know they used power at Wyoming, so I don't know if that's it, I just need to touch base with them and ask.
And there is lots of power at the fair.
Yeah. They were supposed to be at all our events, and then they said they had to lay off their staff and couldn't attend them. Ronnie G's.
it was the other food truck. Was there supposed to be another one, Vicious Tara?
Yeah, well, Satara and Johnny G's.
Fucking mamas wouldn't be complaining.
Oh,
They must have done.
They've been
okay.
great to deal with, like fantastic to deal
It was,
with.
it was really good food. I had a wrap. It was good food.
And their portions are. big.
Massive.
yeah.
They were a good addition.
What you were alluding to there, Alex, it's not a bad idea to really, at a subcommittee, kind of investigate the whole scenario. Does it make them held accountable a little bit more, showing up for the food vendors?
Or at least canceling in time for, not that, I don't think we could have found anybody else anyway, but.
No.
There, like, to be honest, there just needs to be more effort put forward that, the 2 weeks out that they're paid, that it's, like we talk, whatever, that they've submitted what they're supposed to submit. Learning.
Alex, what did you have for comments on,
On Canada Day?
no, for the both picnics in the parks? What did you think about both of them?
Oh, I thought they were good, yeah. And like I said, I like that the Kamlaki one was more Kamlaki people, because it's typically harder to get folks together. So it was good to see Lakeside showing up and going to that one. And I thought the train, also I heard things that there was no train, so that was a huge hit. From the fire perspective, we had a blast. We ran out of helmets. So we had a lot of families come through. So the fire department was really happy with the amount of community engagement we had.
I did hear a couple people that came specifically for the balloon and then it's already gone, but.
3 people who came just for Girl Guide cookies.
Well, at least they got cookies.
Okay.
We have to try the Remax balloon more inward, away from Lake Huron. I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be awkward.
That's a bit of an oversight.
Yeah, they actually arrived early and did their little spiel and then they were gone just after 11 o'clock
Yeah,
round.
Yeah.
That's something that we just can't control.
No.
I talked to them, there's no cost at all to us anyway to do it, because they have 4 balloons down for Southwest Ontario. And they're only an hour away from us, so, but he kind of said the same thing, further inland would be much better. Because you just don't know what you get until you get up, I think it's 50 or 100 feet in the air, right?
How many hats you had?
I don't, because the box was open already, so I don't know how many were still in there, but.
I think we painted about 133 faces.
Definitely over 200 helmets, for sure. Red ones, and that's not including the pink ones. Yeah.
how many faces did you paint in Wyoming?
I'm gonna guess around the same.
Yeah, and the girls did a great job. I saw the kids after, they were so cute.
Make sure, pass that on, but yeah, I was happy. Happy, and they seemed to organize themselves nicely and whatever, so, yeah.
Unicorns up
Was there a lot of unicorns? There was a lot of Spider-Man in Wyoming, so I'm not sure, and, yeah. They were doing much more full, I don't know if it was a full face, but a lot more than what we did last year. And I reminded them, but then I was watching them and they seemed to, maybe it was because there was more painters or something. And the lines weren't really getting any longer because they weren't taking any more time, so.
They're just getting more efficient in their old age.
Did we
I'm
get
stingy.
any donations or feedback, comments from people?
I know there were some suggestions in Wyoming.
Oh, I've got the suggestions with me, I
Oh, do you?
think.
Donations for Wyoming, they don't.
Very like $30 or something.
Was there,
Oh, was
what
there?
happened to it? Where did it-
I don't know.
I don't have it.
Did you take that for Wyoming?
Penny maybe.
Okay,
And Kemlaki,
Wasn't it?
30 cents.
I said you need to put money in it, like that's.
Yeah, we need.
yeah, and we never thought to do that.
in there. Oh, yeah.
We need to put in the jar.
Big bottle.
And
Now
now,
when you already like,
Yeah.
so people think like, oh, right, there we go.
Yeah.
I got the
it was
entrance.
overlooked.
Because it was the last time people visited, so they already been on the food trucks.
Find a black coffee mug and they were cleaning up in Wyoming. No. No? Okay.
Where's the lost? You want to hear the suggestions?
Jessica,
Oh,
did
sorry.
you have comments then for both picnics?
The kids really liked the Paw Patrol one, the slide. Um. A lot of parents asked me like what company I was with. I was like, I'm not with the company. I don't know. The company should probably like give me like things to find out. A ton of parents wanted to know where like that bouncy castle came from, because thing like that in this area with the slide.
Hmm.
So, it's like, I don't know. I directed them over to the rides with the people in the other blue shirts.
Yeah.
How we matched.
Yeah, we all match. I was like, oh no, ask the other people. with blue shirts.
Yeah, they didn't have any signs up or anything?
No,
It's just on the back of the truck.
Hmm.
What about Kamlaki?
They all like the Paw Patrol, and the lineups were well, like, there was hardly ever a wait for the bouncies in Kamlaki. It was great. I said, and the older kids were really good if you just said like, can you wait? I just try to get, like, the older kids were really receptive to just waiting, and then I'd let them go in instead of putting little ones with them. And the parents were really receptive too. I said, like, your little one can go in, but there's a bunch of big kids in there if they want to wait. I'll pull them out in 5 minutes, so.
So you weren't strict like Gord was, you mean?
Huh?
You weren't strict like Gord was last year.
Were you yelling at the kids, Cor?
Start the timer.
I wanted to thank,
Over.
I also got a comment about like us watching, like the kids were getting rough, and the one parent said something about that, and I said, well, like, I'm not here to do that. I said, I can't even see in there, and I can't go around to the side because then everybody runs in, and then I'm gonna have 100 people in there. So watch your own kids. Tell a kid.
And some people were really good about watching their own kids
Yeah.
and some were not.
Yeah,
But I'd say probably 95%.
most of them were.
I like some of the mothers trying to grab their kids to get them out of there.
A couple of parents have to go in Kamlaki, no one in Wyoming, but I had a couple moms had to go in. There was one kid, I'm Russian, I'm assuming, because the dad didn't speak English very well, but he sounded like he had a Russian accent. His kid was,
Oh,
like,
the
just
little, like,
Alex broke my heart every time he pulled him out and he just bawl
I
and
bet
bawl
he
and bawl.
went in
Oh, he went
70
in there,
times, yeah. Yeah.
a bunch.
Oh,
Oh God, he broke my heart. He just sobbed and sobbed and sobbed. I felt bad.
In there, Mom.
Yeah, dad would pull him out after the 5 minutes and like,
Delaney goes,
oh, I'd just stand over there and cry and I'm like, oh.
oh,
There's been a couple of times I'm like, there's no one waiting. He can just stay in there. He's like, no, he needs to listen. Get him out. I was like, there's no one waiting. He can just stay.
That's why I wanted to thank Jessica for just being so vigilant out
Yeah.
there. I guess it's maybe a secret fear of mine to have to do that and have to climb into that bouncy to get somebody, because somebody will have to come in to get me if they had to.
Want him, they'll go.
Oh, your time's up.
Where's Jill?
She's the only one.
She's in the fetal position. Bouncy castle.
The only thing I should also just say is, thanks to the town for having the splash pad open more.
Yes.
Even though it wasn't, I don't think used overly well, at least it was an added attraction. So thanks for the town for.
One thing for us to worry.
Yes. Yep, getting that going. So we did have some suggestions, Jill.
I'm not sure, they were all put in together, so for the two events, an Easter event with pictures with the Easter Bunny. Fun day where there's rides and lots of, I guess that's food. Now, I thought that's what we did.
yeah.
I guess, not sure what they were looking for. Christmas night market with campfire and night vendors. Well, we've got most of them. So, dog days of summer in the park. Well, there's Canada Day. But they've got dog shows, competition. Everyone brings their dogs.
Oh, like there's a dog event coming up 2 weeks, Ernie.
Is that in Sarnia or London?
Well, it's at the Fox and the Hound.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Buy, trade, sell, collectors, hobby event in the park. People buy a lot, so an area, I guess, and customers are residents, so people come, so I guess kind of like a hobby show.
Craft show almost every weekend in the
Yeah.
Sports watch party. Blue Jays postseason game, UFC fight, other major events. Kind of like movie night, I
I was
guess.
gonna say, we could do a movie night with like a sporting event, but then we have to buy the rights to the sporting event, which is expensive.
A little bit more than we could.
Yes. Although we could then get a liquor license and maybe break even this time.
Concert. Local artists, food, beer, pre-show, 3 total. Not sure what that says. Anyway, a concert. Artists.
Canada Day.
Yeah. No. And then this one says younger crowd, trackless train, swings pirate ship, move first responders to middle of park.
More suggestion. That's what we said of the events tent, and because there's a very huge demographic difference in Kamlaki, like
Yeah,
quite a difference. So
so those were notes.
just some
not
things that, yeah,
necessarily
I guess some that
suggestions.
we had made, yeah.
I got suggestions, Kamlaki.
Mhm.
So we should have a volleyball, pickleball tournament or a beach day to raise money for the pool in Kamlaki.
Cool.
And we were talking about
Yeah, ice
the pool
rink.
in Kamlaki.
We're talking about an ice rink.
A lake for Pete's sake. It's freshwater lakes in the world.
It's cold, it's cold.
It's cold, okay.
That may be something we want to look at next year though is, last year when we did the event, there was volleyballs in the volleyball nets. This year, somebody has taken them So there's no volleyballs. in the ball net.
Let's bring your own ball.
We have,
Oh,
we keep extras,
okay,
so when they decide to go walking and stuff, we.
yeah, yeah, so maybe next year we can either check the day before or do something just to make sure that there's balls. I think people would have used them, but there was no balls.
And I made the suggestion before, we should have a sporting event at one of our events. Like, it does attract a completely different crowd and. Yeah.
We could do that, yeah.
Yeah. Volleyball tournament
Ball game.
or something, yeah, because we still have all that space.
About something like that before a movie. On a movie night, leading up to a movie.
Was it? Who did the like pitching thing in Wyoming last weekend?
That was Wyoming Miter Ball.
Did not,
Last year, they couldn't make it this year.
yeah, but
Or they didn't have enough
did
volunteers.
they not tie that event into one of our events? Maybe? Like in Kamlaki, there is a baseball field at the back.
Oh,
Maybe just a conversation we should have.
yeah, yeah,
So maybe they could do that during the picnic in the park.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It would be something to watch and something.
Part of the problem is our events are during ball season.
Yes.
Ball season is on Saturdays.
Yes, yeah, they did do it.
So, that's part of even like the little kids start early in the morning kind of
Yeah.
thing. But that's not to say I can't talk to Matt and say, let's do something together.
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
we can-
see what they have for.
Yeah.
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 Good. What I had here for donations, so we had to get a float sound stage to come in for the musicians, so that he was at least above the crowd and not on the ground, so. And then there was a photographer that actually I know that arrived on site and was more than willing to get some shots for us for both events. And I got thinking about it. I thought it wouldn't be a bad idea because we really don't have anything professional that we could start to build on for our advertising or motion, Facebook or whatever. So I said, go ahead and take some pictures and I'll bring it back to the committee and see if we could give them a donation, same with the float trailer for the musicians. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I was thinking $50 for each, if that
Very good.
is okay. Like, no, just in total for both events.
Oh.
But just opinion or thoughts on that.
Is he coming to Canada Day?
It's the same person who donated. Who did both, the trailer and the.
No, the trailer was one person and the photographer was the other person for both. It's not the same person.
So remember, we do have pictures from last year, Canada Day. My neighbor took pictures, professional pictures. So we do have some pictures.
Some pictures.
Yeah, but you're right. I do think we need.
Thinking of having actually photographer back, because I do know that you had a whole slew done for us already.
Yeah, I think that donation's fine. I can put forward a motion.
Seconder.
Do we feel comfortable using donated money to donate though? That's just my concern.
I mean,
Like if we want to hire a photographer, we make that motion to hire a photographer or the trailer.
So the
I think
vocabulary.
you'd be giving them
is
like
that
just a
we hire
thank you
them
gift instead.
$50. So we worded that we're hiring them for $50 or for whatever money. Or
It's just because
how
thinking,
do we pay them?
well, we just didn't have that expense going into it. And then if it's a donation after the fact, it just, we can give them an in-kind receipt probably for the two that they've done. Couldn't we do something sort, if it's photography services, like an in- if you want a donation receipt, for example? Give a donation receipt. But in terms of like, if we're hiring out, I just feel like it should be an expense. If we're, instead of donating with the money. I don't know, I'm just,
Like you do have a point. You see,
Yeah, oh yeah, because it is an expense.
But at the same time, if we don't do something, will they keep bringing it back or will?
that's what I mean, like they did do something generous. I feel like we should recognize it. Show our appreciation.
If he wanted a tax receipt, would he have to submit us like an invoice saying that he donated equal to a certain amount?
I'd have to probably clarify that on the finance. I don't think we need an invoice. We'd be probably issuing a tax receipt on what his estimated value of his photos probably are. Or what his time was worth. It's how I would approach that.
It's just like, cause donating to an organization seems normal. It's just donating to a person. Or business. I don't know.
I think that giving them a receipt for their, like a tax receipt that they can use, I think is a good gesture. I think it wouldn't hurt to start with that conversation once Denny clarifies in finance. And see how that goes. Cause they're all businesses, they're all making money, so,
It's an expense,
yeah.
so why not put it under expense and just make it official? We need
Yeah,
it,
like,
so.
They're both not businesses, so I don't know how they would do that.
Well, they would just get a receipt that they would use on their own taxes. You have to claim it. You would claim it as a donation of your time though. It's not income, it's a donation. It's
Well, they didn't expect anything, so maybe going forward, so we could look into this, but going forward, maybe ahead of time, we plan. To have an expense of,
How do we pay the musicians?
yeah. Just send them a Karina a check, well, I didn't, but send her a check.
They set a fee, correct?
Yeah.
And then it'll be by check, but like, that's a service that they're offering.
Yes, yeah.
And we knew that ahead of time.
Just a question, your sound stage, let's deal with that one first. Did you have anything lined up before, or was this a last minute?
Last minute, the only thing we could get.
And what about the Kamlaki or the one at the lake? I saw a trailer the guy was playing on. Was that a planned one or was that a last minute as well?
It's the same one.
It was the same one.
Yeah, we had planned for it.
We planned for that one.
And the photographer, had that been discussed before or was that just a last minute?
That, I guess, to be honest, was just my decision when he come on board, and I was thinking we really don't have anything official for our picnics in the park.
And I heard, just, I don't have an issue, but I think Alex, you took some pictures that were posted or something, I heard.
Well, the from Wyoming, from George, the ones from Wyoming. Last year we had pictures that the committee took with their.
Did he just show up at the Wyoming picnic and then you talked to him?
And I
Said,
just said,
ask him to take some nice pictures for us?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
So, have we done like a thank you post for him?
Well, I asked because when after the Wyoming one, I was like, these are great pictures. What's the photo credit? Because I assumed if they were just donated time and money, that there would be photo credits, which is usually photographers love because then they get business out of it.
Mhm.
I guess then you said that he's a recreational photographer. Because that's usually the first thing that our would ask for instead of.
Yeah.
Use photo credit and stuff like that, but. There's another thing we can still do if George wants.
I'd have to ask him about it. He's relatively low key in that respect.
It is great work.
I know, that's why I just went ahead and his work is phenomenal. You know, he made Wyoming look like it was a bright sunny day. So,
And whose trailer was it?
so Norma's husband, he had a great big float available that day.
the other option too, maybe is could we not give them like a thank you gift of some sort, like a gift card or something like that? So maybe to one of the businesses that have donated towards us.
Ever, yeah. I just brought it back to the community to get their feedback on it, I guess. You know,
I don't want it to be another, like what happened with the PA system rentals, where there was no recognition given and then, you know, yeah, whatever.
Maybe, would you table it and let Danny check into that?
that's fine.
They're not going anywhere.
I guess the biggest thing would be checking in to see, 'cause I know businesses can get in-kind donation receipts, but I don't know about individuals. Like, I don't know if you can claim a personal income or personal taxes with an in-kind. for time? I don't know. I don't know if in-kind donations are for businesses only.
I think so, but I want,
If you donate objects, you can get a donation receipt. Like if you donate a
Right.
piece of furniture.
But services too? Yeah, but I just don't know what services, yeah.
Or it could fall just, it's like the face painters where they just give a gift card. Or they get a gift card. Something in recognition. We need to do something in recognition and an official thank you for them for. Yeah,
maybe if Danny can check that out and bring it back to it, we're, next meeting is the 4th of July, so. They'll give us time to.
And for future events, when we build out budgets for the events. we Vote on all the expenses that, if there's things that we need, that we can vote on at a time and do it like the same face painters or like the musicians, depending on where we want to go.
where we know it'll come off the budget.
Anybody else have anything at all for picnics in the park?
I got a big thank you for the water refill station. That people, that one person had never seen that. Appreciate it.
Was it utilized in Kilmackie?
A half bottle.
Oh, good.
It's giving us a new water pump at every single event. If we can just keep the water pump and then they don't have to keep it like, it's like brand new in package every single time. And I don't know what they're doing with the ones that we send back, but we could just put it back in the box and use it for the next time. And just hang on to it. So that.
Yeah, I don't know. I was supposed to call Katie today, Karen, just to thank her, but I got stuff back. I just got too busy today, but it's probably the same one that just gets sent back out of the box again.
Oh, no, it was like all the cellophane wrapper was still.
Dave said it.
How did the return go?
Suggestion was to put cups out
Yeah.
in the water.
One of our sponsors for the cup.
Post out ahead of time saying that there will be one, bring your water bottles to refill.
Some backup water cups or something.
Yeah.
Some more promotion about bring your own bottle.
More people are doing that now.
Mhm.
More carrying their own bottles.
That's right.
Yeah. It's hard because like the idea behind the water refills is less waste.
Exactly, yeah.
There.
But some available is, yeah.
Perfect in Wyoming, because what tent was giving out water bottles? There's a tent giving out water bottles in Wyoming.
Oh.
Oh, was it Leo?
Yeah, Leo, yeah, they were giving out refillable water bottles, so.
Oh, yeah, great big huge glass ones or
yeah.
whatever, yeah.
How'd your return go today, Brad?
I just set it outside the door. No, that was all, so. Rich told me. But last time after Wyoming, I went and dropped it off, talked to Katie, and she's more than happy to anything we need. So
Candidate?
I haven't asked her yet. I was waiting for you to ask me that. If I can, are you wanting it?
Oh, sure, yeah.
They had the Ontario government one at Pizza Fest.
I don't think it was going this year.
I think
Was there.
Adam was saying at the last meeting that it's going, but it's very limited.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
I think Adam talked, maybe we could get that next year. if that's not too, but
Had 4 or 5 water bottle fills and then like 4 or 5 fountains underneath.
Okay. Mike, I was gonna ask you, did Corey from Broadway Service say anything about train at all or the signs or? Did he show up?
I didn't see him. Okay, you have to drop in.
Do we send him a photo of his train? For purposes they.
But never showed up on the picture that's on.
Someone from cell phones at least.
Yeah, from cell phone.
In case Corey wants.
Were there pictures on the Facebook thing
Um,
of the train with
of
their,
the-
with their name on it?
There were a couple posts, I think.
not the one that was on the back of the train, but the train station with the train.
Mhm.
Have to look, have to see.
And were we able to hang on to all that stuff for hopefully for next year?
I got it. Yeah. Okay, moving on to Canada Day. I guess the committee hasn't really had a great time to go through in full detail on all the particulars, but that will be starting relatively quickly. So maybe if we can just do a really quick rundown summary of what each one of these are on the agenda. Right. So Kristen was looking after the vendors and she's no longer in the committee, so do we know? Jill, did she send you or talk to you?
She's got 2 vendors who have committed. I have 4 business cards that if me or somebody else wants to call them and ask them if they're interested. I didn't yet though, because I wasn't sure what the setup for Canada Day was gonna be and how much room we were gonna have and whatever, so like, you know, so.
I can do up a map once, I know a bit more about the.
It's more about the indoors inside the buildings. So, because that's where we were gonna put them was in the north part.
Do you know, like the Progress building will be completely empty? Okay.
Because we have the face painters, we'll have the activities, and
Photo booth.
photo booth. Yeah, we've got 2 crafts for the kids, photo booth. For indoors. I don't have any community groups because when I sent out the letter mentioning the dates of the picnic and Canada Day, everybody jumped on board for the picnics. But nobody said yes to the Canada Day. But I had the Girl Guides just message me tonight and say that they had such a wonderful response at the picnics. Could they be in Canada Day? So I said, I'd have to find out at the meeting. It was just a space thing. So there again, I don't think. And the Lioness last year, their cookie decorating was such a hit, but they did it at both picnics. So I sent.
Gone out of cookies in Wyoming.
Did they? So I've sent another message on to Beth Aiken to ask her if they were interested in if they wanted to do Canada Day. I know they said no when all this first started, so I wouldn't be surprised. We had such good turnouts for the picnics if they just saturated.
So
I hate to be the downer. But the Lioness probably should notify public health. They're gonna be doing the cookie vendor thing again. Well,
Yes. Okay,
we talked to Beth, just have them reach out to Lambton Public Health
okay,
and see what their requirements are.
okay. Good to know.
We had talked about putting Wacky Jacks inside the building, but we could put them outside if we are running out of space. But we do need to let them know in plenty of time to make sure they reserve the tents.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what other,
Chance if you're outside.
yeah, I don't know what other activities they have going on that weekend, but we do have a lot of their stuff booked, so I imagine.
Are we gonna reach out, Jill, to all community groups again, just to, now that its first 2 is over, we're just gonna do a special one? I would do a special one, I guess, to community groups, just to see if,
Sure.
just in
Just
case
to the
some of them
same
were.
list that I've had, yeah. Sure. Problem. So, would we put them in that like last year? So in the south side, face painters and the community groups in there. Okay, but
I would reach out to them.
but
and
there
then
will be room. in
We'll
that
figure
building,
something
so,
out. We'll
Okay.
figure something out.
You put me down already.
The Historical Society, are you guys gonna want some extra room? What's,
I spoke to Miko, it doesn't seem that she's gonna put any more into it right now.
okay. Okay. So I don't need to send you a letter then.
So don't bother sending me a letter.
I think we should reach out to all of them and at least give them a chance to say yea or nay.
Yep.
And then,
Chair, just point of order. You hear burping and gurgling noises, it's not coming from me.
You sure?
This is, yeah.
Put it on the record.
Sit next to me.
Ordered now.
I know.
Be under the bus more.
Jill, the ball might want to go on that weekend because there is. My son's in Salt, like the baseball, there is none on Canada Day. That's canceled for that weekend, so they might have.
Well, I shall certainly ask him then. And send a letter off to community groups.
And then do we want to make a decision then? Do we want to do one dog show or 2 dog shows? And we could do one at noon and one at 1:30.
I think we like jumped the gun a bit and we're supposed to vote on this. But it sounds like we already gave them a yes. I don't know how that works. Do we still have to vote?
We'll do a motion.
Technically?
Let's do a motion. We basically firmed everything up with her, but we have to let her know still, but, that's why it was just come back here tonight, just to kind of do the final. Is everyone good with it?
And Danny might know more about it, but I refresh my memory so $5,000 to the candidate grant. And the top one is for eligible expenses, is promotional expenses, communications, entertainment, and equipment rentals. I would argue this is entertainment, like, for entertainment.
Agreed. I would agree on that. I did contact. I want to tell you this anyway. I did contact Parks and Heritage Canada, saying that we were told that we were gonna be contacted by somebody from them. We never have been. So my email was forwarded, is all I know, to appropriate person, but I still have yet to hear from anybody. Cause I was gonna ask for clarification on the events that we're having and what out of those could be spent on. So if I hear from that, I will send out a full email or an email to like whoever wants,
Do we have the money yet, or do we not get it until after we submit our expenses to them?
Because the initial letter that we got of approval was pretty generic, that you've been approved for $5,000.
So I guess to Megan's point, what do we want to do with? Do we want to talk about that tonight then? We don't have any more meetings,
I
but
think we should probably, for all of our
Expensive.
expenses for Canada Day, while we're here, that way we can hammer it down and get nitty-gritty at the subcommittee level properly with that budget that we vote and approve on.
Do we know how much, where we're at financially before we?
Well, we know we've got 5,000, well, I guess we don't, but we do have 5,000 of money that's separate from the budget right now.
Yeah.
Through the Canada Day grant, right?
We've been given the $5,000. I just eligibility for using that because what we may consider entertainment, but maybe they don't.
So maybe, yeah, so really we want to probably submit more in expenses than. The 5,000.
Yeah.
As for financial update, I didn't bring one because everything from the picnics aren't gonna be paid fully yet, so it wasn't going to reflect. So in a couple of weeks, like I can touch base with Norma and find out and send out what the financial position currently looks like.
We have eligibility show, ballet act.
I guess, depending on where we go with the other options. Like the Valley Acts, for example, we talk about that more, maybe we'll talk about that first. I think if we do something else, then we probably only have time for one.
yeah,
Press for 2 shows.
I think.
Yeah.
And then the meet and greet, and she wants the dogs to have a break,
And I bet you the meet and greet probably goes 30,
at least
45
an
minutes.
hour, I would.
Yeah,
think.
I agree, one show.
One show.
I think you're, get 2 in.
And maybe we see, and we're like, oh, we could have fit in a second one and we do this in the future.
Maybe do it at 1, that way people have time to come in and do the touch truck, because I think you're gonna see it.
And have lunch.
Hard pressed to get those kids away,
And it'll keep them there too.
like to drag my child away from like everything and back to the dog show, they would just throw them.
I think 1 o'clock is a good time.
Like that.
So,
You want to start there then with the motion?
yeah, I'll put forth a motion to accept to have the dog agility show at the event, 1 show. Is that sufficient? What's that?
I second it.
Just the only thing I would add, I know she said, oh, I don't know, 500. I think because it's a holiday and for her to get her extra people here for that wouldn't hurt just a little bit more than 500. My thought.
Whatever she chooses to charge us.
The business, like,
She
we'll give you your invoice, I don't.
He wasn't sure.
Yeah, so I mean, if she goes,
She just too, but
So,
wouldn't be saying to a person that's a business, like,
you know, she said it, it's on record, so obviously she thought about it and it's fine, it's $500.
whatever she.
Like, I don't think she's gonna come back and be like, I changed my mind, 800.
The number
That's right.
there.
Yeah. But she could have said, oh, I'll have to think about it and get back to you.
It's obviously thought about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was actually better than I thought it was gonna
It
be.
was quite low, I thought, but again,
Yeah.
that's her business.
It probably would have been more if we did 2 shows,
Mhm.
probably double.
Yeah. And it is good word of mouth for her too, because I mean, if she's been trying to start a dog training, then she'll get a lot of potential clients out of it.
Well, other than that,
Motion's put forward, second,
I'm good with that.
all in favor? Did I ask?
Normally the chairman.
Oh,
does, but
sorry,
you're
go
gonna
ahead,
do it.
Brad.
Okay,
There.
I even did it. Oh, good.
You're the new chairman now.
That's fine.
Just based on what Megan says, it looks like we're all in favor of it for $500.
1 PM. Yeah.
1 PM. Yep.
So what about, do you want to talk about the jelly ball then?
Yeah.
Did they give us any more, give you any more detail?
No, so like, what was that Retrofest? It's like a great big, well, like, whole thing. Has guns, they fill it up with like they're like water beads, but they're biodegradable, like. They fill the gun and then you shoot at like the screen that's up.
And
The stationary,
Stationary, like the ones that are like the fight, I think they have them set up at like Sarnia and Chatham, you can go in and do battles. But the one that was at Retrofest is like a big inflatable thing and like you're shooting at the screen. I think it can have 6 people.
oh, cool, wow.
And like it's red and blue, and then so you can compete with your friend who shoots those stuff.
And they did, I think online too, it does say you, for the event, you get unlimited.
Yeah, it was unlimited. I asked for the ammo.
That was $900.
100.
And did they say that's for the length of the entire event?
Yeah, that was for the event that was bringing it here. It's in Wyoming.
I think that's awesome. And different.
Very different.
Jelly ball.
Well, it'll get an age group that might definitely,
Like especially.
It's a wide range, like my 5-year-old did it, no problem.
Yeah.
Like there was
I think teenagers.
teenagers shooting it too.
Even some adults.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I like it.
I'll make a motion that we pay the $800 for the Joey Ball.
900.
900.
100.
Mr. Van Claveren raising that price up there.
I'll second the motion.
any further discussion?
Oh, well. Just-
They're there for the,
So they need to be the whole. thing.
yeah, 11 to 3 to 4 hours. Yeah, the staff was there manning it when they were at, it was $5 to play, which I thought was ridiculous, but.
All in favor?
$5.
It was $5 at Retrofest. I was like, really?
Oh,
So does that mean they're charging $5?
No, because I said like it's a free event. It's because it like they went and paid for a spot at Retrofest. I think trying to get their name out there.
and then do we have cornhole and ladder golf?
So
Do
I,
we have cornhole and ladder golf?
so mentioned it, but
I would love to get that league involved.
Oh, I
Tried so hard.
to every single event we put on, I've been in touch with Mike Searson and he'll get back to me. The cornhole.
is there a cornhole team in Sarnia? Like, I know we don't like going outside of Plympton-Wyoming, but maybe we can find.
I would feel bad to go outside of Plympton-Wyoming, especially when there's 18.
The only other,
It's just a matter of now getting in touch with them.
So the ladder golf.
You want me to team up, Jill, and I can contact Connor again?
Well, Mike Searson is one who's the head of the, like, he oversees all of this, so I can try with him again and I can tell Diane Buckingham what we're trying to do. Diane Buckingham is with the Ladies Auxiliary, and if you want an answer from the Legion, you go to Diane Buckingham, it's kind of through the back door. Not that she'll get us an answer, but she'll make sure that the person who is responding to us knows about it.
Do they have monthly meetings and how do we get this on their agenda?
Bill, do you have Mike's cell number?
I think so. And I message him like Facebook Messenger and he'll answer me. We'll go back and forth, but he just never wants to commit. I don't know if he's supposed to pass it with Connor or what, but he'll just, oh, that's not like, it's always a great idea and they'd love to do it and I'll get back to you. And then I'll get back to him again and,
Like Kim. Like Kim.
well, yeah, I can ask her too, but it'll all ultimately go through because he's the one who's supposed to be in charge of it.
If you've been chasing, he's not responding.
Maybe that's her answer.
Reality.
I'll ask him one more time. I'll tell him that we really want cornhole just as an extra activity at Canada Day. And if they can't do it, can you please let us know and we can just get some ones that somebody owns.
Yeah, I can see if I
Put them
can.
out there. But we'd love to do the advertising for them because they advertise for members, you know. So bring people to the Legion, so.
And then the ladder golf was just the sets that Jill and I have.
Oh, okay.
I've-
That's
I've
easy.
got one. Do you have one too, Melissa?
Yeah, and then I don't know if anybody else has a ladder golf. No. I have a. Perfect. Do you mind bringing it? Okay.
Sweet, times 3.
Yeah, cornhole and
A tic-tac-toe?
custodian.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
People playing.
So yeah, we'll need like little games areas.
The Wacky Jacks is all good. Laurie said she's okay, because she said she has a huge display.
Yes, yeah, she said she's gonna need to bring 2 trailers with her next time.
Wow.
So.
We tried to help her play, we tried to help her play Tetris at Kimlaki to fit it all in that thing, and she said that she had to do
Yes, yeah, she has a method to the madness.
it.
I think Wacky Jacks is some of the best money that we've spent.
I
this
agree.
year.
Definitely agree.
Oh, yeah, I think it's fabulous.
Touch a truck, Megan, how many?
So I'm assuming there'll be a fire trucker. So. And then Adam said,
So I figured they said yes to the parade, so they'll probably just. bring
Yeah.
it in there.
I just assumed. Adam said 2 town trucks. Wyoming Tree might have 2. I've got excavator and a dump truck or a bulldozer coming. I think Ron Clark is bringing something. How did he get roped into our tent?
Said he wanted to volunteer at the picnic. And he stuck around, well, as long as he could.
He was great though.
Oh, yeah, and then he brought his Bronco and then Ron brought the other Ford truck lead.
I have a cement truck, most likely a school bus. Green is a no-go. We have a tractor, from Riviera.
Oh, great.
Tractor, and they're gonna bring a side-by-side, or it'll go in the parade.
Oh, yeah.
Marcotte is putting a truck in the touch a truck and in the parade as well, 2 different trucks. Hydro is down for a truck as well.
Great trucks.
Good. Well, nothing from Kubota. though. South Point.
So at least 13 vehicles, say for now.
Are they gonna be in the same spot they were last year?
I think they'll all fit there still. No word. We've reached out twice to the other dealers. That point and Advantage.
But if they would still like to put something in, they are more than welcome to.
Yeah.
We'd love
Yeah. Sure.
Advantage.
Alex was saying too, we might want to do a motion for the payment to Wacky tax as well.
By Ford. Keep it consistent.
So someone want to make a motion to have Wacky Jacks then? Oh, Denny?
How much is it?
$540.
What do they do?
They're the kids' play area.
Oh,
So, yeah, so in the last event, we did just a single package that was under 300, and this time we're doing a double package.
Like a ball pit, climbing stuff.
right.
bouncing.
They were just across from the tent. Yeah.
I couldn't believe how busy they were.
Yeah.
Melissa, do you want to make that a motion then?
So I want to motion to have Wacky Jacks at Canada Day for $540.
Seconder? Mike, Nagel, all in favor? Carried. It's. Oh, for sure.
Take a look.
And just, I know we did talk about her giving us a discount. She did knock off over 10% off of all of her invoices for us, so.
Nice, okay, good. Jessica, are you doing the parade?
Yeah.
What's that shape?
So there's 9 with Maricot. I didn't know they were gonna come, so there's 9 confirmed so far. I still think Bob Bailey's gonna back out, cause. Yeah, like,
Okay, we have someone even better who just offered. I don't know if we've asked him. Write him down.
You want me to work?
Did
on-
you-
Want me to work
Was
on
he on
Bailey?
our list?
on our list.
I'm not on the list, so it's. fine.
Neil, put him on the list.
You might want to talk to the rest of the town employees about a float.
Yeah, he got an in.
Come on now.
His office confirmed him, but then was suspicious because he's usually in Sarnia.
Usually in Sarnia and it's the same day.
Failing us.
Usually we're on another day, like we're not usually on Canada Day, because Marilyn Gladu said she had conflicting. Because there was Sarnia and Petrolia.
I wonder what time all the kids are at though, because I thought Petrolia was,
Well, Sarnia will be like early in the morning.
I think Sarnia might have been the afternoon and Petrolia was in the morning at like 10, so I just think it wasn't.
Well, the warden, Kevin Marriott.
We'll bring a truck. I think Al really wants to sit on them.
Do you want to form one?
Wagon, don't you?
Al doesn't want to sit on the way. I'll make sure the equipment's here for you.
Thank you.
Can we post something like in the Wyoming, like town of Wyoming Facebook group asking if there's any businesses that are interested in going in the parade?
what could we
Allowed
do?
to-
Could we do an events post and then share it too?
Yeah.
Like put something on the events page, looking for any
Local
businesses
businesses.
to share it.
Denny?
One thing to caution you on is Adam mentioned it before, if your parade gets too long, then the county has to
Yeah.
go on the road for like more officially, I guess, because it's longer road closure. If you're gonna post it out there, then you all of a sudden get like a ton of feedback.
Sure.
And how do you accommodate everybody?
Would you say we had 9?
Plus all the kids on bikes.
And
What about the Piper? Remember last year we had a Piper?
So the Legion, Jill sent me a message about the Legion that they were working on.
Yeah, the Legion will be heading the parade, what they're gonna put in, they know. But
Was it somebody from the town?
It was one of our town employees that was leading the pipe.
was it?
He just showed up because he thought we needed a Piper.
So the Legion maybe didn't call him or whatever, so thanks to him,
The
so
little could talk to him.
the Legion will be heading it and then the Piper heads. The Legion, but the Legion's always in the start of it, and there again. Yeah, Diane Buckingham put somebody in charge of making sure that there was something in the parade, so,
You know what's gonna happen now.
yeah. Well, and I had to tell them, well, the Canada Day parade's the Legion's thing, that's what they, so.
It is. Yep.
So that shouldn't be a problem.
So you should be in a fire truck for the.
Yeah, so I imagine it'll be the same as last year where Wyoming and Kimlaki will both bring a truck for the parade. And Kimlaki will pull off and head back to staging in the station, and Wyoming will bring a truck into the, or have a truck in the truck.
Chris Brewer said yes, he wanted to let you know and said. that he'd be there.
So what are the businesses that have said yes?
Liviera, Country Lane, Wyoming Tree Service, Dynamic Diesel, Moran. And then Marriott, the garbage disposal.
Find out yet what Leanne Moran does, what her business is.
Isn't that like,
Does anyone know? what-
it was on your list, I don't.
I know she contacted last year, but she never said what her business was.
No.
And more. You know,
What was her business?
She's a music teacher, and last I heard, she's going through for a. Whatever's the equivalent of a priest for a lady in the Catholic Church. Or whatever it is, I don't know what. Oh, she's some. My wife mentioned it, but I mean, I've been computing. I can find out for you.
Yeah, 'cause she just asked to be in the parade last year, didn't work out.
It's recorded.
I just.
Delete, and he knows how to delete.
Excuse on that.
He's the greatest deputy.
Just wanna prove that one.
And she wanted to be in the, and she wanted to be in the parade.
Yeah. She reached out last year and then it didn't work out for her. And then I just said, contact her this year. I don't know what she does, so.
I know the Egg Council wants to put one in, but they're not sure if they can yet, so, but they'll let us know.
Sorry, guys, I gotta leave, gotta pick up my granddaughter.
It's a good excuse, Cory.
Gorge,
I'm gonna go pick up my granddaughter.
rock picking too.
Not yet. Her uncle like.
It would be nice if the eggs could be involved, they're big sponsors.
Gathered them all up.
They wanna be in the parade.
Yeah, they wanted to last year and it'd be in the parade and it just didn't come together for them, so, but. Yeah, they've been really enthusiastic.
It's been awesome.
First year.
Glad we got that picture.
And then there's the bikes. No idea how many bikes will show up, but if it's like last year, it was 10 times more than what we thought.
All the stuff, you need stuff. for that.
Well, I've got the balloons. I'm currently making the streamers for off the handlebars. There is crepe paper. And at the end of the meeting, can I have a quick look in the thing? There is some, I don't know if we need more. I was also actually asked Alex if he would put on there about the parade of anybody who wants to decorate their bikes at home. We'll have some decorations at the park. Some showed up,
Decorations or something.
limited decorations, yeah. Some showed up already decorated, but most didn't. So, but you know, they weren't being demanding, but if most people would show up and that we decorated, it would kind of help with all the hubbub ahead of time. It's fun though. But as far as I know, I don't need it.
Food vendors, Megan, we're okay with all them?
Yep, so we have Truck and Mamas will be there, maybe Satara, Bubbles, and Black Hog.
Is Dylan not coming?
No, he couldn't, he's in Sarnia.
It's musician.
So we actually have I think it'll be a good music show, so, which will also play into our timeline with the dogs. So Matt Weed and Ryan Duncan are gonna do 11 to 1, and then Colt McLaughlin and Colt and Dave are gonna do 1 to 3.
Would probably definitely be entertainment in the grant.
Yeah, it would definitely be a good show.
Who's doing that tied up in music? Just so we know.
They're gonna be set up in the same spot.
Money we potentially use for the grant, we can figure out.
Yeah.
I think Colt and Dave were $200. Come back to me.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know, yeah, just the total after. Get back and keep going.
Oh, okay.
So we said 1 hour, 200 for 2 of us. And that's 400 for 2 hours. Probably. And then I don't know if Matt or Ryan gave me a rate. I'll find out from them.
We ballpark it high though and get an approval, not,
I'm gonna get, because in addition to just the motions too, I'm just trying to figure out how much left over we have, if all of that's covered in the grant, because promotions and marketing will definitely be covered in the grant, so we know how much we have to promote the event as well.
well, I can throw in here for the promotions then. So based on everything that we have been doing so far, if I keep the same, it's 500 for advertising is what I would probably put forward. Now, I don't know the time frame, Denny, maybe for bill stuffers, and if we want to do that, but that was about $300 for bill stuffers, 3,000 people. I don't know when the next run is.
I'm not 100% sure either.
Okay.
What the next run is, do you know? Rob?
Which one?
Next run for water bills?
Paid one. It must be.
Yeah, we
2 months from now.
Yeah, we just got finished it, so.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna make it.
Not gonna be able to, there's not gonna be an opportunity for us to choose.
Okay, that's fine. Or whatever.
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah, so that's all in the 500 kind of, and that's Alex's money for Facebook as well. Some ads for papers, the stuffers for the grocery stores.
What about
Both.
signs? On sort of deals,
Yeah, that's not in there. We can put that in there if you want.
swap of the back of the mail. Mail.
That's about the same almost. Any?
Advertising is included with the grant funding and there's still money that needs to be spent. You can do a neighborhood mail out through Canada Post. I don't know how much it'd be for here, but probably looking at about 500. And government, so people that opt out of ads, governments can override that so that like everybody gets an ad. So that's an option as well, if there's money left in the Celebrate funding.
So. We're saying we could anywhere between 800 and 1,000 then. If you do the full mail out, or if you just do like coming this weekend, Canada Day, right, like we did for the Core Plus signs, everything.
So. What do we?
What, do you know roughly what we're at?
Well, without the music, like if you were to ballpark
So
musicians.
just say,
600?
say 300 for Matt and Ryan, 400 for Colt and Dave. 7, yeah, 7
total.
even round it to 8 to be safe, I guess, but. On the high end.
That's not good for you.
900 for Jelly Ball, 500 for dogs.
So without the average, so just on the entertainment, so dogs, Jelly Ball, Wacky Jacks, musicians, we're at 2,740.
Okay.
So.
Can we get
I think musicians will for sure be covered. Entertainment.
I would.
I don't know about. I don't know what the government, how they see Jelly Ball and the dog show, but definitely musicians and probably dog show. We'll have to wait and see when Denny hears back for that.
I would personally put it into entertainment, and it's not, like, their biggest stipulation is you can't charge. So,
So, and then, so even if you add in
That's right.
1,000 for advertising, we're still only at 3,700 for the grant.
So we're good.
Yeah, but we should probably try to, like, we're better off to spend.
I mean, we have, I don't know if we can include security in that cost.
Well, because the securities for the,
Tent.
yeah, the
Or like a donation, I don't know if we can include that as a cost.
There was no place that had like rides, fancy castles, right?
I tried 7.
So
If we have our non-Canada Day, Canada Day. No problem on anything.
next year we should.
It said no twisted Chris, right?
Yeah, no.
But we'll have face painting,
The face.
so there's a cost.
but I don't, but the face painters we're not paying, we're giving. They're not a cost.
Yeah, well, I don't know. They got.
Costing us.
$600 for 260.
For entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
We're not really paying them, we're giving them.
But all your supplies too. That much.
If you look at the ineligible expenses,
I've just got that up.
is the ineligible expenses, like we're not, the ineligible expenses, like obviously it's not limited to, but it says cost related to barbecues and liquor permits. Food for planning team and volunteers, facility rental costs, major infrastructure, equipment purchases, lobbying and advocacy activities. Activities or services outside of Canada and prizes for competitions. Those are not.
Do you think that the washrooms would be part of equipment or rentals? Didn't it say rental
because-
spaces?
Project related expenses that are eligible include equipment rental.
Oh. The washroom.
It's not equipment purchase.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's another sizable cost.
Cause roughly, what did the washrooms cost us? this year? Sorry, Denny.
One event was like 1,000, one was 700.
Worth it. It's worth it to have the extra washroom.
If we're having the trailer again for music, can we make this an expense this time?
Yeah, we could budget.
Pay for the trailer rental this time?
Washrooms and hand washing stations for the Canada Day event will be $1,228.31.
Get closer, $5,000 easily.
Doesn't take long.
37 or 27 for that. Okay, then, yeah.
We're pretty much there.
So to Megan's point then, if we're obviously gonna need a trailer, right? So why don't we just kind of forget the other and go and just say 150, then 50, 50, 50 and 150 is the cost to rent the trailer. Do that.
I think we just need some sort of invoice from him. Yeah.
An invoice would be.
No, like the musicians, I just
Oh.
emailed Norma, I said,
Oh, okay.
can mail a check? That was wrong, but that's what I was told.
Musicians. Could be done by motion that you've already asked her for the check.
Even for the past events,
Yeah.
not for the. I feel like we didn't use them.
I think we did like last year, we made a motion to pay the musician.
Well, we need a motion to approximate whatever you think musicians are gonna, right?
You said 800?
Yeah, is my guess.
So in that, we can throw in the cost of the trailer as part of the musician fee and
So
then,
950 spent on. Yeah.
you wanna make that a motion then?
Sure, I'll make a motion to spend approximately $950 on musical entertainment.
Seconder? Yeah, thank you. And discussion? All in favor? Carried. Good. What else we got there? So the bar, we had a little bit of a hiccup with stone pickers that was supposed to show up. Do we know why? Or,
So originally we told them evening. And that was good to go, but then when we changed it, they couldn't get any staff to work it. They're taking their child to the airport during the day, so. It was just a lack of staff on a holiday.
Hmm.
So, understandable.
nothing that we've done.
No, they're great to work with and they're so thankful that we invite them.
So I'll just lay this out there. I did make a phone call to someone to see if they would be interested in running a bar for us. At the fairgrounds. It would be the tractor pull committee, so they would step up and run it with their smart cert people. If interested. In terms of any other details, I have no idea yet, in terms of purchasing beer. You had to do a liquor permit, which I think you've already done, right?
It's been submitted, haven't received approval yet, but
Because you had to do it 30 days out. Oh, yeah. I think that was just like the day before. Well, that is an option, I guess, that they're willing to do it. They do have enough people that would man the bar for us with Smart Serve. They all have current certificates.
What can we offer? Are we just thinking like beer and? like,
I think Denny, that is open for spirits and beer, right? Just it depends what you guys want, I guess, right?
From last year's tractor pull, spirits don't go over nearly as well as beer and something that's canned.
Smoothies. Yeah.
That's be me.
What kind of bar do you go to? Yes.
I think it's coolers.
Yeah, the most important is then you're not stuck with a half bottle of alcohol wondering what to do with it.
Well, then, because then you buy it, right?
Yeah. I think that sounds good. As long as, oh, Denny has questions.
I don't have a question, but if you want suggestions for what was popular at the Canada or at the tractor pull last year, I bartended it. So I'm happy to let you know what other popular items were.
I think my one concern though is, it's fine, like, we did lose money last year from the bar, which is not a problem, but we lost money even with the money that we gained on selling alcohol by the time we paid for our liquor.
You lost money last year?
Sure, we lost money. By the time we paid for the liquor license, because how much is a liquor license?
And security, no, I think we made like,
Security.
no, I feel like we had a profit, like it.
I thought we had like-
700 or something was the total.
Rings a bell,
Okay, so
Maybe that was before we paid our expense.
or we paid,
yeah, so then,
Like it wasn't massive, but it was decent.
yeah, so then how would it work with the tractor pull one? Like they'd get.
Well, this is the details I have to work out, like whether the town would purchase the alcohol or whether, let's say one of us purchased alcohol and you submit the bill. I don't care. I don't know the details yet. I've yet to kind of talk to, I guess, the treasurer to find out how, if, when, if possible. I don't know.
I think last year when we discussed doing it ourselves, that was the concern, is us buying it was not an ideal situation. And then storing it and then returning it.
I'm not worried about any of that stuff, simply for the fact we've done it for the tractor. So I know how all that works. And I know different places to store and stuff. I'm not worried. I've done enough times with the tractor pull committee and Denny. Doesn't bother me in the slightest, but,
I was like the town was voicing that concern,
of what?
us buying the alcohol.
Yeah, could be. I haven't heard anything. So that's what I'm just throwing it out for. I don't know.
I haven't talked to Norma about it at all, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
This was just Carolyn saying this last year.
Oh, okay.
Do you think there's a world where Stone Pickers still wants to be part of the event, that we can purchase the beer from Stone Pickers and what we don't sell, we can take back? Like, do you think they would be open to something like that, to still sell their beer? Rather
I
than,
wonder if you could do like a few craft breweries, like Shield Ridge for the ladies, if they like cooler, if you have cider, like kind of like a tap room, not tap, but. Yeah.
Or even like if we went to like the local breweries of like. Beggars, Black Gold, although maybe we want to.
So then we're all offering a bunch of the same products, basically.
But maybe we want to just give the.
if we exclusively do Stone Pickers again because they're Plympton-Wyoming, they might be more open to doing a buyback thing, so.
There are also some people that want to go to a bar and not drink craft beer.
I agree, like I like this idea, but yes, can we somehow incorporate coolers?
So I,
Definitely,
yeah, so-
I just mean for the beer piece.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Like I like that idea. I think that they would be all over that.
Yeah, and I think for beer too, like even the Bud Light drinkers found something to drink last year.
Yeah, because their lager is an easy drink.
Yeah.
So they do have seltzers, actually. I know Stone Pickers has at least one seltzer.
They're not very.
No?
Again, I would go with the Shield Ridge if that, I know it's. I feel like they have a different options for coolers.
I just don't know, like, we don't have a connection with them. So I don't know how they would be about it.
Does Steve? I do know them.
Oh. So that could work out then. Well, maybe let's.
What does
explore
Shell Ridge have? What's Shell Ridge have?
cider.
Yeah, they have different cider, they have strawberry mojito, they have a peach apple cider.
Yeah.
That'd be a great addition.
It would be nice though to have, like, ciders are good, but I still find ciders have more of a beer.
Yeah.
These are more wine, like they.
Oh, okay.
They're good.
And Shield Ridge seems to be an addition to a lot of, like, if you go to Black Gold, you can get Shield Ridge coolers there. So I feel like they partnered up with a lot of the. Not at Stone Pickers, I don't think.
So I think there's still lots of discussion on this, but I just made a quick phone call to see if, at least if we're stuck, we have an option, and we have an option. It's just, I think there's a lot of details to work out relatively quickly.
So maybe Brenda, you and I will touch base and do the reach out this week. And then we'll have an answer by weekend, hopefully.
Does that affect any, what you submitted or not really?
I checked that today because I remember last year putting down information that we were gonna have local breweries coming. But there was no place for that.
Is the bar 12 to 3? Or the whole thing? 11?
What time can it can start whenever?
From 11 till 3.
Yeah.
And have we lined up security already?
Mhm.
Did all 10 lines last time.
We did. They haven't responded at all this year. It wasn't.
Already.
Like last year, I did have to chase them down for any sort of communication
And I think they sold,
and. You know,
sold what, 5 tickets?
yeah, but less than 15, yeah.
Did you say we did security again?
Yes, he didn't give me a price though.
Who was it?
That's same as last year. RPS Royal Security, like Nicole.
I
Or
think,
yeah.
What should they charge us last?
Are we locked in with them? Are we locked in with them? Are we in a contract then?
Said he sent it to the town.
Usually stipulations are, they get approval for it. So I'll wait and see if that's.
do you have a different avenue you wanted to approach?
No, I just wanna, Danny, do you know if Rural Protective has sent anything into us for Canada Day?
I'm not aware of it.
They were a bargain last year.
I said, I will send you a map when I have it, but we only needed 2 people versus 3 from last year, like 3 was overkill. Where I left off.
If they haven't sent it, do you want the other option then, you got? They were cheaper. Do you want? Can't think of the name.
Well, just be cautious about talking about pricing when we're live. Yeah. So if Rural Protective hasn't sent us anything, there are other options we can look at.
And fees for, would that be a professional service? Or salary and benefits?
I feel like that's a professional service.
I'd say professional service salary and benefits would be if your organization is paying staff.
So if it's considered as a professional service, it can be pulled for 5,000. Like from this fund that we're collecting here for expenses.
I think security would be a field scope expense for that grant. to be honest.
I don't, yeah.
That's not.
Okay, so Danny, you'll kind of follow up and see about security if. Okay. And then Megan, you'll double check.
I'll touch base with you too, yeah.
So I guess I just want to throw that out there. That is a last resort option, I guess, for the chargeable committee has willed to step up and. help out.
Other options.
Right now, we don't. No, that's why at least that's an option. Anything else for Canada Day that we should?
What do you think?
Need-
The beer tent area. I know we're trying to do something different for beer tent area. What you were thinking.
Yeah, I think what we're going to do is the south half of the building. Inside where you can open up the 3 doors and have some people want to stand in the shade to watch the dog show. That's an option.
Is that the back area of it? And then where?
Can we like do
You can fence it all.
that beer garden area as well as some of the inside? Cause like the musicians, which would be nice to have them in there.
If you're gonna change that, then I need a new sketch like ASAP to update our license.
So what did you put? Just the back of the building?
The back of the building, because I think it's big enough.
They go outside then?
We've only submitted for the building.
The musician could go on the outside looking in though, right? Musician could go on the outside looking in at one of the open doors.
But we couldn't bring them a drink like you want.
I think the musician should absolutely be in the. But the beer garden fenced area. Like that's the norm at every other event. That was a lot of feedback we got at this event.
I
I
think
should
it
even
is-
say like backlash.
I think it is nice to have at least some area outside too, if we still can.
Is it too late? Though? Like, is it 30 days?
30 days, but you have the opportunity to update the license. Typically, I don't think area is like a big thing for them. Like, I don't think it'd be a big issue to update that. So,
Like, are we limited on space?
You
Like,
mean
did
like
they give us a
community
guideline of
license
how
or
big it
something?
can be? Yeah,
I'm just gonna pull up what I submitted.
because I think like even if it's partial outside, partial inside, I just think like an outside option would be nice.
The 15 by 13 is what is proposed to be the licensed area.
And is the music gonna go on the front side? Because everything's gonna kind of be over there, right?
The front side.
Like, is the music going on the left of the photo or the right of the photo?
Or it was last year.
Well, last
Last year
year,
was a horrible spot,
Yeah, last year was a horrible.
right
spot.
in the beating sun.
Yes.
So
So
if,
like, they need shade, but I really think they should be in the licensed area.
so Megan, if you want to do that, then I would make a suggestion that there's a man door there that could be used for, do I want a man door?
So how do we secure all those entrances?
There'll only be one entrance where people can get in and out,
So the doors open.
but there'll be snow fence across. So what I would make a suggestion then would be from the corner of the little pad that's on the left-hand side. Cement pad there, we angle that across to the pavilion. The gazebo thing, yep. Yep, and then angled across and then go all the way around the outside, right to the back of the building, and then that way the trailer could be pulled into the shade. With musicians. And then that way you at least have some area outside and some area inside.
Yeah.
so where does the trailer go? Sorry.
That pavilion to the left.
It
Where the
goes,
beer tent area was last
it
year.
goes in there.
Sorry, Denny, could you put it up on, show her where you got your pointer?
So it's gonna go in the pavilion then?
In that one.
Yeah, use that as well as the back of the building.
Because if it's scorching hot in that building, even though you'll have doors open, it's steel, it's gonna hold the heat.
Yeah.
People are gonna start bailing out with their cold air.
Which is nice, because I mean, with that big of an area, although where's the dog show gonna be?
On the right hand side,
Right, yeah.
other side, the outdoor movie.
Because with the, like, with the way the sun goes, don't you get like a decent shade right in front of the building? So on the other side.
Shade will be coming to the right hand side at the afternoon.
Yeah, so like right there. Could we not put it somewhere along there and just extend it out front?
No, because it's on a hill. Right, it's on a hill. And I talked to Jess at the fair building tonight, and I said, this area will get some shade. And she said, well, can I put my dogs maybe just along the side of the shade? And she was happy that that was available. So I think if we do that to the corner and then around and then back to the side of the building.
And
Like, I think that's the best of both worlds, because last year, people said they wanted to be able to do activities with their kids, but still have the beer. So,
So I'll get you that in the morning.
That's okay?
Yep, no problem.
so are we still okay with just 2 security, do we think? Like, last year, all of them stood around and,
I think
Those are just have one entrance to.
one or two still. There's a lot last year.
yeah,
You don't know how much security is then, right?
no, he did say, I just read to confirm timeline with him, and then he sent me a detailed quote, so, and I didn't have.
remember roughly what it was last year?
It was like, I wanna say like 250. 300,
So should we have a motion to spend up to X amount for? Just so it's. in books?
Let me see how much we spent last year just to be on the safe side. You had last year's. Maybe I do. So, okay, so I was wrong. 480 is what we spent last year.
3 security.
That was with 3, yeah.
So we're gonna say up to 5.
Yeah. Because I don't know if their prices went up or anything. For like approximately 500.
So should we have a motion then to,
It was 714 from Stone Pickers we made last year. Or,
after all, though, right?
sorry, 1242 is what we made and 700 is what it cost us. Yes, motion.
We should have a motion then for security.
So I motion that we spend approximately $500 on security for the refreshment tent.
Jessica? Discussion? Favor? All right, thank you. Anything else for Canada Day?
Yes, so that is the south side of the building. What Denny had up there. Yeah. Where did I bring it? That map that he had up there. So that, and it looked like it was about 1/3 of the building, so the.
Can you back up?
Here. So in the, oh, is it? So about 1/4 of the building, so we've got lots of room for the activities, for the kids, for the face painters.
Wacky Jack.
Wacky Jacks is gonna be inside. So what about the vendors,
Well, if we do community,
the community groups?
so. The way I look at it, I guess, without really getting down to exact expenses, we probably could put them. You've got your food vendors, that line, then that is on the north side of the Lions Pavilion. You can probably put a whole line if you want on the south side.
So the community groups be
Oh, yeah.
outside.
What do you guys want?
We could also move Wacky Jacks outside. as well.
Too.
Well, maybe not even, or off outside.
Well, don't forget you got kids and if you're out in that really hot sun.
I think we'll play around, but we can find
I
it.
honestly think we'll have, I really do. We've had huge ones in that.
Yeah, oh, there's lots of room. So we've got the 2 vendors and I've got about 4 more that I can call to ask. So should I?
I think we need more than 2. We need.
Vendors pay to come. Well, I think this was an issue Kristen's finding, wasn't she, that we offered $30 at one time and.
But then did we decide it's just a deposit and they get it back if they show up?
Yeah, they don't know about that yet though, because they were just told, I think it was $30.
Oh,
To be
okay.
in, and it's only for 4 hours.
Just to kind of secure them and then.
And so we're just gonna look at it as a security.
That's right, yeah.
And I have to check with Kristen again, but I'm sure that nobody's paid anything. I think they're just gonna bring it with them, so we'll just tell them.
It's a baby clothing.
Well, it's the baby clothing, and the other lady, I don't know if I have it on me, is, she makes us pictures with the stone, the beach
Oh,
stones.
yeah, yeah.
So just the 2. I know it was hard for her, so should I go ahead and look for the other ones?
The other one could be pretty perfect right beside Wacky Jacks.
So, okay. Mike's gonna find vendors for us.
We'll have
Hey,
300.
gosh, yeah. We're gonna have them calling us, asking us.
It's Natural has a bunch that have just come into her store. If you want to go in and see what they are. Like she has,
At Suncoast?
yeah, she has a bunch of vendors in there now.
We can ask Sandra.
No, because we were just gonna ask artisans.
She has a bunch that have come into her
Yeah.
store. So like if you just go in and take a look at, like, 'cause there was
Their
one that had,
cards.
like the stone art, there's earrings in there now. There was plants.
Yeah, I can just take their
Yeah,
cards,
okay.
or Mike can just take their cards and give them a call. Do that too, and I'll get you the other business cards that I've got.
Get in contact with a lot of vendors with Diane Buckingham, because she fills up the region.
Yeah. Yeah, some of those are MLMs, so we're not doing those, we're just doing people who do their own crafts kind of thing, but yeah, that's, yep, got those too.
They had like 30 at that point, I believe in for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I took some, that's where I was too, so that's where I got the other cards, but I didn't go around to everybody, just girls who were around me that I like their stuff.
Younger girl in Kamlaki who's painting like portraits and stuff. If you took her a picture of you and your dog, she paints it. Just a young girl my daughter had. She's got two.
Did she do the houses too? Yeah.
I can't think of her name. Just see.
That would fit into what we're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Whether my daughter has her.
I know Kristen's talked to other people, but just because it was Canada Day and it was only 4 hours, it wasn't worth their while. But this is something that we can open up to for, like the suggestion, yeah, for down the road or tied in with Christmas. Village. We have it at the Lions Hall or whatever, we could have vendors in there. So.
Full last year with all the rules.
Well, see, somebody else puts on, there's a lady, I think she's from Forest. And she's the one who's put on the vendor show at the Lions Hall every year. She just works independently. So I don't know if she's doing it this year or not, so. It was even independent from the Christmas in the Village craft show that was in the homes. Remember you went around to all the houses and stuff and there was vendors in there. And then this lady on her own rented the Lions Hall and filled it. She wasn't even part of Christmas in the Village, but she piggybacked on, so, yeah. But anyway, I mean, that's something to think about too for,
Date are we thinking of for next?
I'm not sure yet. Probably, yeah. I'm just getting on here, so I'd probably like to wrap up the discussion for Kennedy for right now, unless there's anything else that really has to be decided tonight. Al,
You're gonna need picnic tables, old picnic tables we can give you again and. Sure, I've got all that stuff and.
Garbage bin,
and-
barricades for the parade.
I just asked a question about the parade. I know you said about the length as far as road closures and stuff. Is there any other things that we have to be aware of for the parade? Like we have big trucks and equipment, like are we throwing can? No,
You're not allowed to throw candy. You can hand it out.
okay. You have to have someone. walk
We didn't last year. We like decorated, had kids decorate their bikes in Canada theme. And there was gathered at McKay Park and came down.
I think somebody had candy.
Well, I think I was in the parade last year. We didn't have candy, but we did for the fall fair, but we walked beside our
Mhm.
float and handed it out. But I feel like there was someone throwing candy last year in the touch a truck, right, or the.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like there may have been somebody, I'm trying to think of who it was, but.
so maybe,
Just remind our.
yeah, just with all her
yeah,
people, just tell them no throwing of candy.
you can hand it to them, can't throw it.
And do we have like a map of where they're going?
I do have one from last year.
Are we doing
Or
the
are we
same?
doing a different route now? 'Cause We're
I
gonna do
think
the same as
people are
the.
so used to it, I'd rather just keep the same.
Yeah.
Only 20 minutes, I think, Dave, that we can tie it up for.
Maximum 20 minutes.
Under 20, yeah.
I think we 11 or 12, the leave last year.
It's not a very long
No.
route, so.
Anything else then for candidate right now? No? Okay. 5.3, Alex and I talked about it very briefly, but can we table that? for another day?
Yeah, like, high level story, it'll happen.
Yep. Perfect.
Are we gonna have another meeting before?
Yeah.
I feel like
It's a good.
Lockdown, so I can talk with vendors. Like the day bid.
But I just know we're running out of time, but. All I know is, all I've been telling the firefighters, it's August 12th. Whatever it is, I've been telling them. It's in my calendar. Fairgrounds, I think is the only.
Fairgrounds are locked in. Find out.
Did you book the fairgrounds for the water ball?
No, because we hadn't even got that far. Yeah. So.
Where else we could do it.
I think that was a discussion that was the only place.
Well, I guess I wasn't gonna approach Gary until we kind of knew what might be available.
Is that a week? That's on a weekend, eh?
This,
Better make sure nobody's having a wedding there.
But yeah.
Mike.
Do you guys have a bunch of plans? Yeah.
Might be more
Let's see
fun.
the schedule.
August,
You want me to follow up on that?
mine, let's just see if it's available.
Sure.
You know, let's just throw times out there right now really quickly. Are we thinking midday? For this
Same
event?
as all our other
As
events.
everything else.
11:03?
Okay.
That's easiest to streamline things, but.
Let me take that on.
Yeah, other than that, I think really the committee should maybe quickly decide when we can have the subcommittee meeting. We could do that afterwards. If nothing else, then yes.
I talked to Santa at Kamlaki.
Okay,
And he has booked the Lions Hall for that same day, that same weekend that it was last year.
Okay.
Gonna have it there, it's already booked,
Didn't we remember doing it?
and he will be Santa again.
I think we were talking about
The
the
week
week
before?
trying to maybe go after, wasn't it? One
Was
week
it after?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Because that particular weekend.
Oh.
Spread thin as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Sarnia parade.
Oh, yeah, same.
One announcement for the committee, I'm sure you'll all be interested in. Each year, town selects a senior of the year. And this year, one of your committee members, Mr. Gord McKenzie, has been selected as a senior of the year for Plympton-Wyoming.
Oh, well, we have to like.
That why you left
Yes.
early?
Oh,
No, you have to go
Off to Ottawa to go meet people.
yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna be recognizing him. Gord's pretty low key.
Yeah.
Once that decision is made, I have to go back to council with some more information. Certainly will let you guys know, because I know he's an integral part of this as well as the museum, so,
Mhm.
yeah. So you can feel free to congratulate him.
That's cool.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We had Jack Sterling in the parade, is that what it was last year?
You put word in?
Yeah.
He might kill us.
That's how I'm in
Worth it.
My first.
Like set up for him. Nobody loves Mike.
That's one Mike.
I called him, fell on. And he was down at Broomfield in front of the Shell Refinery, gonna do a 43-kilometer ride to Port Lambton and back. Yeah.
We don't need the Shriners cars in the parade. We'll just have Gord go around.
Or he needs to ride something historical.
That's pretty cool.
Unicycle.
I paid it. see.
I did write down December 9th when we were discussing it for Christmas.
It's for the week after.
Oh, do you want to reach back out to the elf?
We can vote on it. We're
We
gonna have it
wrote
there
down
again.
December 9th. I think we did the first weekend of December last year.
Right, so you wanna go there then?
Back at the Lions Hall on the week after.
We'll have to make sure that the Christmas lights work again now.
Yeah.
Good. Big switch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing ongoing. It's working.
If there's nothing else in here, I have a motion that the special events committee meeting adjourn until the next events committee meeting commencing July 4th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Moved by the senior of the year, Gordon, and seconded by Megan. All in favor? Great, thank you.
So for good.
Exciting.
It is, Gordon, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Typical Gord fashion, he says, well, I don't deserve that. There's other people that do more work.